It's officially Halloween Horror Nights. Hey everyone, I'm here at Universal for the start of Halloween Horror Nights. This is my absolute favorite event of the year here in Orlando, and I'm so excited to be here on opening day and to bring you guys with. Now, unfortunately, I won't be able to film in the houses, but I'm going to be giving my full, honest reviews without any sort of spoilers as I go through each of these houses. I won't be doing them all today. I am doing this over the course of opening weekend because I do have the Ultimate Frequent Fear Pass. I will go over all the various passes and ticket offerings shortly. This video is going to be mostly focused on the houses and the scare zones. I'm going to do a whole nother video on the food and all the other entertainment offerings. Now, they have changed how they're doing the Scream Early, so this year they are doing wristbands that you can pick up at various locations. So it is actually time I can go in and start getting my wristband. So let's go in and kick off Halloween Horror Nights 2025. The way that Scream Early is working this year is a little bit different than years past. Starting at 3 p.m., you can pick up your wristband from one of 3 locations: BillingCon Minion Blast, Minion Cafe, or Lombard's. Then you can go over to a holding area. They are designated with some wristband checkpoint signs. And at 4 p.m., they will start letting you back to get in line for some of the houses. The houses are going to start opening between 5:15 and 6 p.m., depending on the house. As far as tickets go, you can get a single night ticket anywhere from $86 to $135 per person per night, depending on the night. Express Pass ranges from $170 to $290 per person per night, again, depending on the night. If you would like to purchase the Scream Early Pass, that is $55 per person per night. However, if you are an annual pass holder or have a day ticket, you do not need to purchase Scream Early to take advantage of those perks. They do also have 4 different types of season passes, ranging anywhere from $200 to $420, and all of those can be purchased with the Express Pass option, which will take you anywhere from $690 to $1,200. But do note that the options with Express Pass do tend to sell out faster than the passes without Express Pass. First up, I'm starting with Terrifier. This house is going to take you through the 3 Terrifier movies, and it does feature a wet or a dry path at the end, and I'm going to be taking the wet path. Okay, just finished up the Terrifier house. I was in and out in 15 minutes, but that's because I went right there when the Scene Scream section opened at 4, so that was a fun house. It wasn't super, I'm gonna preface it wasn't super scary. I don't get scared easily, so take my idea of scary with a grain of salt. Wasn't super scary, lots of Art the Clowns, and I think he's just a fun little guy. I think I was there early enough that the smells hadn't kicked in because I didn't smell a single thing. And I did take the wet path. I did wear a poncho, which is why I'm dry right now. But the wet path really wasn't all that wet. It's a very short hallway where they're putting water on you, and it's really not that bad. Overall, I really liked that house. I thought it was very fun, but it wasn't super scary. But now I'm heading to the Jason Universe house, which I've heard from the premiere Scream night last night that this is a scary house. So I'm really hoping it is, because I would really like a house to actually scare me. I was not scared of Insidious last year, and apparently this is scarier than that, so I am crossing my fingers that that is true. So let's go see Jason. I love Jason so much. It's one of the first handful of horror movies I ever saw was Friday the 13th, so very excited to get to go see him right now.
Next up, I'm doing Jason Universe, and this one is going to take you through all the various iterations of Jason Voorhees.
Okay, just got out of the Jason Universe house. It was really well done for someone who loves Friday the 13th. There were a lot of memorable scenes. I love seeing the Camp Crystal Lake sign. There were a lot of good jump scares while I was in there, but I didn't scream or get scared. I thought it was a very well done house. So that's what I'm saying. Take my idea of scary with a grain of salt, because I don't find things scary. But it was so well done. The second half of the house is absolutely insane. It's just, I don't want to give any spoilers, but it is very dark. I could not see more than a foot in front of me. So very much enjoyed that house. I was in and out again in 15 minutes once that house opened. So doing the Stay and Scream is definitely the way to go if you can, because you can get a lot done. So I loved that house. Definitely going to do that house multiple times this year. Now I'm heading back to do Dolls Let's Play Dead, which is one of the original concept houses this year. So that is back by Men in Black. So let's go.
For my third house tonight, I'm going to Dolls Let's Play Dead, where you become doll-sized and witness the unnatural creations of a twisted little girl.
Okay, just finished with Dolls. There's chainsaws going on behind me. just finished with Dolls Let's Play Dead. It was a posted 40-minute wait and it ended up being a true 40. That house was fine. Some decent jump scares, again, didn't get me, but wasn't my favorite house, but wasn't my least favorite. It smelled good at least, so there's that. I'm glad that of the scented houses I've gotten so far that I got good scents, but it was a cute enough house. I wouldn't wait too terribly long for it. I was kind of hoping for more creepy looking dolls. They weren't as creepy as I wanted them to be, but now I'm heading back to the front of the park. Grave of Flesh was only a posted 15-minute wait, but I am starving, so I'm gonna see what I can get for food on my way up there, and then hopefully Grave of Flesh is still only a 15-minute wait. So back to the front of the park. Okay, so I'm just kind of sitting off to a corner right now. I got some food, which I'm not gonna review in this video. I'm doing a whole other food and beverage video, but by the time I got back to Grave of Flesh, it jumped up to 65 minutes. So I did not wait in that line. I'm hoping that once the Nightmare Fuel shows start, that some lines will drop. I'm also gonna check out the scare zones. I find the scare zones a little bit more fun at night when it's dark out. So I'm just gonna enjoy my food and then see if another house has 45-minute or less wait. That's kind of my limit for how long I want to wait in line for a house. Yeah, that's the plan for right now.
Next, I'm doing WWE Presents The Horrors of the Wyatt Six, and for my last house of night one, I'm going to do Grave of Flesh, where you are going to enter your grave and then go into the underworld.
Okay, first off, I apologize if the lighting is weird. I'm testing out a new external light for my camera because it's dark out now at Horror Nights. But I did both the WWE Horrors of the Wyatt Six as well as Grave of Flesh. The WWE house was posted 40 minutes and it ended up being 30, so that was awesome. It was a good house. I enjoyed it. I don't really know anything about the WWE or the Wyatt Six, but I thought it was a really well done house. If you are a fan of them, I'm sure it's far better for you than it was for me. And then Grave of Flesh was a posted 30 and it ended up being 60, so that was not fun. I definitely wouldn't recommend waiting 60 minutes for that one. I enjoyed the atmosphere of it. And the design, but I was not thrilled to have waited 60 minutes for it. It definitely, I don't want to say dampened my experience, but it dampened my experience a little bit. But it was still very visually cool. So now I've done 5 houses. My goal is only 4, so I did 1 extra house tonight. So now I'm just gonna hang out because, well, behind the scenes, I have a hotel tonight, so I get to kind of hang out here and not have to rush out to beat traffic and drive home. So the rest of tonight, I'm just hanging out. So I will see you guys tomorrow for more houses.
Okay, starting off night 2 with Fallout, which is going to take you through the show Fallout, I believe. I've never seen it, but let's go. Next, I'm doing Galkin Monsters of the North, where you are going to a remote northern village where monsters are wreaking havoc on the townspeople.
All right, so I kicked off day 2 with Fallout. It was a good house. I've never seen any of the show, never played any of the games, so I really had absolutely zero clue what was going on. So because of that, it wasn't one of my favorites, but I have heard from people who do enjoy the IP that it is very well done if that is an IP that you enjoy. So I thought it was a decent enough house. It opened at 100 minutes, but I only ended up waiting 10 because I got in early with the Scream Early. And then I went to Galkin Monsters of the North, which is directly next to it. That opened at 60 minutes and I waited about 20, so still not that bad. That house was absolutely beautiful. I think that's one of my favorite houses this year. As of right now, it's in my top 3, and I have to give it a lot of credit. That is the only house that has ever startled me. Not scared because I didn't scream. I wasn't scared, obviously, but I was looking one way because they had some really cool sets. And when I looked forward to keep walking, there was a hand in my face and I kind of flinched a little bit. So I have to give it a lot of credit because that is the only house that has come remotely close to doing anything of the sort for me. So very much enjoyed that house. Highly recommend that one. But now I'm gonna go do Hatchet and Chains, the Demon Bounty Hunters, which I am hopeful for because it was part of the Slaughter Cinema last year. And so I'm very excited to see what the whole house looks like. So let's go to Hatchet and Chains.
For my 3rd house tonight, I'm doing Hatchet and Chains Demon Bounty Hunters, where you are going to an Old West town where some lava demons are trying to possess everyone.
Okay, so I just finished up Hatchet and Chains. Well, not just, but I digress. I just finished up Hatchet and Chains Demon Bounty Hunters. I really liked that house. There were some scents, nothing bad. It just smelled like dirt and stables almost. Very much enjoyed that house. Not exactly what I was expecting, but in a good way. So, and it was very beautifully done, like every house here at Horror Nights is. The production value on these houses is out of this world. So I very much enjoyed that house. And now all the lines are pretty long. So I think I'm just gonna hang out, go through some scare zones, try a couple of things for food and beverage related for that video, just because I'm getting a little hungry. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of hang out the rest of the night. And like I said, check out the scare zones. It's not dark yet, so I kind of want to be able to see them both as the sun is setting and then also in the dark. So that is the plan for the rest of the night. Unless, of course, some house drops drastically. I have 2 houses left. So unless El Artista or Five Nights at Freddy's drops drastically before I leave, I will hop in those, but I highly doubt it given the popularity of those houses. So I think I'm just gonna be hanging out the rest of the night, but that's fine. I love hanging out here at Horror Nights.
And starting off night 3 with the big one, I'm doing Five Nights at Freddy's, which is going to take us through the story of Five Nights at Freddy's, the movie, not the game. And finally, the last house on the list, El Artista, a Spanish haunting, where you are going to be transported to 19th century Spain, where a tortured artist lives in an isolated country manor and his art possesses him.
All right, well, started off night 3 with the last 2 houses I needed to do. I started off with Five Nights at Freddy's because that line gets so long, especially at the start of the night. Opening night and last night it opened at capacity. Tonight it opened up at a 180-minute wait because I had gotten there for the stand scream, and then so I was very, very close to the front of the line. I did only end up waiting like 10-15 minutes for it. So if you're going to do that house, I highly recommend getting your wristband right at 3 o'clock, getting over to that section right when you get your wristband and just hanging out there and trying to be one of those first couple people, just so that way you aren't stuck waiting in that long line. Again, I got my wristband at 3 o'clock on the dot. I was over to that area 3:05, 3:10 at the latest. So I was very, very early on in that line. So I only waited 15 minutes. Now I obviously then did wait close to 2 hours and 15 minutes, but no houses were open. I was not wasting any Halloween Horror Nights time waiting for that. But honestly, even if you were in the first half an hour, that is far better than the 3-hour wait that it was. That house was very cute. I think, in my opinion, again, as someone who doesn't scare easily, that is like the easy house. Like last year, in my opinion, Ghostbusters was like the easy house, the nice like appetizer, like what helps you get into Halloween Horror Nights if you're not a haunted house fan. I think that was a really good house if you aren't to start with. I thought it was really well done. The animatronics obviously were amazing. They were made by the Jim Henson Creature Shop, so they obviously were very, very, very well done, and it was a great depiction of the movie. So I very much enjoyed that, but again, not super scary, kind of nice, work your way into Halloween Horror Nights. And then after that, the last house that I needed to do was El Artista, a Spanish haunting, and that house was so unbelievably beautiful, you guys. The sets for that house were stunning. I absolutely loved every second of that house. I was just mesmerized the entire time, to be perfectly honest. So I think I'm going to mull over my ranking list because I want to put some really good thought into how I'm going to rank these. I don't want to rank each house on a scale of 1 to 10 individually, and I didn't want to do that as I was going through because I didn't want to rate an early house super high because it was one of the first houses I went through, and then come to find out that it wasn't as good as other houses. So I'm going to rate them 1 through 10, but I want to kind of mull that ranking over. In the meantime, I'm gonna just kind of enjoy my night here. I went through a couple of the scare zones last night, so I'm gonna do some more tonight and just really enjoy my night, and then probably go through some other houses again because I just very much enjoy a lot of the houses this year. So that is going to be my plan for the night, and at the end of the night I will rank the houses as well as the scare zones. And then again, food and entertainment like Hauntophonic, potentially Nightmare Fuel, the Death Eaters, things like that are going to be an entirely separate video than this one. This is just going to be houses and scare zones, so keep an eye out on the channel for that. But I'm just going to really enjoy the rest of the evening here because it is a beautiful night here and it's the best time of the year. So let's go check out some scare zones.
The first scare zone you'll encounter when walking into Halloween Horror Nights is the Origins of Horror, where you are entering a decaying conservatory where artists carve tributes to Halloween Horror Nights. You're going to encounter monstrous crows, gargoyles, and more. Over at the Cat Lady of Crooked Lane, you're going to travel a winding path to a mysterious home where trick-or-treaters are being transformed into feral felines by the Cat Lady. Over in the New York section, you're going to find Mutation's Toxic 20s, where a BuzzCon truck with radioactive cargo crashes into a mobster getaway car, sending the city into a toxic pandemonium, and they even have it dripping down the side of the building. And the fourth official scare zone is Masquerade Dance with Death, where you're invited to a masquerade ball where bloodthirsty vampires lurk behind ornate disguises. Over at Mel's, they have a new addition where they have added zombie car hops that have taken over the die-in. Another new addition is Club Horror, where there is an undead DJ playing some cool hits over by the exit of Fast and Furious. And quite possibly my favorite addition this year is that they have Art the Clown roaming and interacting with guests.
Okay, this light is insane and this is the lowest setting, but I have officially done all 10 houses and all of the scare zones, so here are my rankings. Now, I do want to note these are my personal rankings based on my personal enjoyment of them and whether or not I would do them again, houses wise. Scare zones, walking through them no matter what, but in terms of which ones I would see myself hanging out in. So for houses, in 10th place, I have Dolls Let's Play Dead. I thought it was a decent house. The dolls, I don't know, they lacked what I wanted them to be. I kind of wanted the creepy combination of dolls that you see from Sid in Toy Story, and I didn't really get that, so I wasn't disappointed per se, but I wanted more from it. Tied for 9th place, or 8th, depending on how you want to do the official numbering. So I'll say 8th. Tied for 8th is WWE and Fallout. I thought both of those houses were really, really well done. I just don't know either of those IPs. I have never seen anything WWE related. The only WWE people I knew before the Wyatt Six were introduced for Horror Nights, and not introduced to me for Horror Nights, was Steve Austin, The Rock, and John Cena. So I don't know WWE, I don't know Fallout. The houses were really well done, but the IP just didn't hit for me because I don't know those IPs. If you are a WWE or a Fallout fan, I'm sure you will absolutely adore those houses and those are going to rank higher for you. But for me personally, they are tied for 8th. In 7th place, I have Grave of Flesh. I don't want to say the extended wait that I had was part of the reason that it is so low, but it's not the reason. I just didn't think that house hit as much as the other ones did. It didn't hit for me. And you know what? Sometimes that's okay. Then after that is Hatchet and Chains Bounty Hunters. I thought that house was really fun. I really enjoyed that house, but I enjoyed other houses more than that. So you know what? That's just going to happen. Some houses are still going to be really well done and you're going to enjoy them, but other houses are going to be even more fun for you. So as much as I love that house, it is going to be in 6th. 5th place is a little controversial, but I'm putting Five Nights at Freddy's in 5th place. I thought the house was really well done. The animatronics were absolutely amazing, especially because they're coming from the Jim Henson Creature Shop. And it followed the storyline of the movie so incredibly well. I don't want to say I was bored through it, but I was kind of bored because, I don't know, it didn't give visually as much as I wanted it to, and without being scared in houses, it's hard to say that it was or wasn't scary. I don't know. It's hard to explain why I'm putting that in 5th, other than that's just how I feel. And then El Artista, A Spanish Haunting, is in 4th. Again, I thought that was so well done. It was visually stunning. I loved that house so much. I would do it again, but the top 3 houses, I think I would wait in a longer line for. And that's kind of what helps me determine this ordering, is how long I'm willing to wait for some of these houses. So in 3rd place, I have Galkin, Monsters of the North, because that house not only was stunning, it is the only house that has even made me so much as flinch as far as houses go. So that one definitely has to take 3rd. And again, visually stunning. The props in it and the sets were so absolutely amazing. I loved that house. 2nd place is Terrifier, because it actually depicted some of art's most iconic kills. And while yes, it wasn't the scariest house, and I know a lot of people have said it's a very disturbing house because it does depict all of his iconic kills and it is very gory, but I love it. I love gore. I love gory scenes. So I love that house for that reason. And then in 1st place is Jason, because if you do get scared in houses, this house is going to be scary, especially the second half of the house. And as someone who grew up watching Friday the 13th movies, who grew up loving Jason, who grew up loving Camp Crystal Lake, that had to be first, especially with how well done that house was. I absolutely adored that. But so that is my personal ranking of the houses. It is okay if you have a different ranking. I'm not going to have the same ranking as you because everyone has their own opinions. But that is my ranking of the houses. Now, as far as scare zones go, the ranking on that gets a little bit harder because you're not waiting in line for them. You kind of are walking through them. So this is just my personal enjoyment of going through them this opening weekend. So in last place is Club Horror. And that is purely because it is just a DJ and a couple of dancers. There is nothing scary about it. It is not anything, like, it's not an actual scare zone, but I'm going to count it as that because I also don't think it is as entertainment-y, I'm going to make that a word, as Hauntophonic or Nightmare Fuel potentially are. So Club Horror is going to be in last place as far as scare zones go. Then after that, I think I'm going to put Mutations, Toxic 20s. It just seems very spread out. I kind of wanted more from it. I do love some of the visual effects of it, but it just feels a little lackluster to me, and maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just when I have gone through it, but it is what it is. Then after that, I'm going to put Mel's Die-In Zombies. And while it isn't as big as other scare zones, I love that they are giving Mel's Die-In a little bit more to it than just the signage. I like that we are giving some storyline to it. I like that we're giving a little bit of a little mini scare zone over there. So that is why it's ranking higher than Mutations. Then in third place, I am putting The Origins of Horror. I think that opening scare zone is always a little hard. Last year it was just like Chainsaw People. So this year I definitely think they stepped their game up. They have icons for each of the IP houses, which I think are really cool. And they have some statue-esque people. It definitely stepped its game up from previous years, but I still think it doesn't hit the same as the top two houses or top two scare zones. But I do think that it is very, very fun and a great way to enter the park, enter Halloween Horror Nights, and kind of sets the scene for the theme of this year. Then in second place, I think I'm going to put Masquerade, Dance with Death. I think that's a really fun scare zone. That is where my favorite scare zone last year was, and I think the spacing of it and the area that they have for it is absolutely perfect. Very well done. I very much enjoy that one. But then in first place is the Cat Lady of Crooked Lane, and not just because I am a cat lady myself. I very much enjoy that scare zone. The progression of some of the scare actors from trick-or-treaters to cats is so well done. The little mini show, I don't know how often it goes off, of the cat lady herself at her house is so cute. I absolutely adore that scare zone. That is 100% where I'm going to be spending parts of my nights. I'm going to get a cursed cranberry and hang out with the cat lady back there. So that is 100% my number one, and I knew that one going into this after walking through these scare zones as they were setting things up. I knew without a doubt that that was going to be my favorite scare zone this year. So yeah, that is my rankings of the houses and the scare zones. Let me know in the comments your ordering for both of those. And yeah, I think I'm just gonna hang out here for a little bit longer, and then we will recap at the end of the night. Well, that is a wrap on opening weekend of Halloween Horror Nights 2025. I absolutely love this event. It is my favorite event in Orlando of the entire year, and I'm so excited to be able to come back every single night during this event. Let me know in the comments how you rank these houses and scare zones, and make sure to like this video, subscribe if you haven't, and follow me on all of my social media. Those will be linked in the video description. Bye guys, and happy spooky season!